Hello and welcome. For those tuning into my channel for the first time or visiting this video from a link, this video is geared for the Facebook group ALS We Are In It Together. If you'd like to visit the group, you can find the link in the description below. Also, any links I give in the video will also be available in the description below. To start with, let me tell you a bit about the group and why it was created. The group was originally created in 2011 to further my father's goal of raising ALS awareness and helping to find a much needed cure. But since its creation, it has become so much more. Along with the original goals, the group also serves as a sort of support group for those touched by ALS. It also serves to help people find resources and information that they need from other members and admins alike. Since my father was the reason I did all this, let me give you a little info about him. He was diagnosed with ALS in January of 2009. His initial onset was a respiratory onset, which is a very low percentage chance of happening. To further that, it was also a familial onset, or hereditary onset, which is even lower percentage chance. As his primary caregiver, I learned a lot about ALS and struggled to take care of him while he did the same for me. Ultimately, he passed away peacefully in July of 2010, but not before making a bit of a dent in the ALS community with his presence. He had a lot of friends in the community, many of which are in this group. A bit about me: though I don't have ALS, I was a caregiver for my father, as I said before. Because of this, I know a decent bit about ALS. I also have a decent bit of knowledge about medications in general, medical procedures and practices in general, and human anatomy. All of this gained through personal research in my own time. Before we get started, you need to know I am not a medical professional, nor do I work for or with any medical professionals. Any such knowledge or advice that I give comes from my personal experiences and personal research done in my own time. My advice and information should not be a replacement for professional medical advice from your doctor. You should always talk to your doctor before starting or stopping any medications, medical treatments, or supplements. It's just a safe way to go. So, with that out of the way, let's get to some of these questions. Some of these are asked by members in response to this video, and others are from members or people who have in general asked me these questions. The first and most obvious to start with is, what is ALS? ALS, also known as motor neuron disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, try saying that 5 times fast, or Lou Gehrig's disease. It is a neuromuscular disease that targets and kills specific nerve cells called motor neurons, preventing your brain from sending signals to affected limbs or organs. When these cells are killed off, you ultimately lose control over the affected limbs and organs. For most, the end result is complete paralysis. Does ALS have a cure? As of the date of this recording, unfortunately no. There is no cure for ALS. What is a PALS? Simply put, it's the person that has ALS. Likewise, a CALS is someone who is a caregiver of an ALS patient. What is the average lifespan of a PALS after an ALS diagnosis? The average is roughly 2 to 5 years from the date of diagnosis, but this is not definite. People can live longer after being diagnosed. Speaking of, can PALS live longer than the average? It's dependent on a number of factors, but the short answer is yes. Personally, I know people in and out of the group who have lived upwards of 20 or more years with it. In fact, Stephen Hawking, a well-known theoretical physicist, was diagnosed with ALS at age 21. He passed away in March of 2018 at age 76. He lived with ALS for 55 years. Such long-living cases are rare, but again, they are not impossible. Are there any treatments for ALS? Very, very few treatments are specifically for ALS. In fact, there's only two that I know of, uh, Riluzole and Edavarone. Both of these are designed only to slow the progression of ALS. Keep in mind, results may vary from patient to patient. What about symptoms? Are there treatments for those? Absolutely. Symptoms such as muscle cramps, spasticity, spastic bladders, muscle spasms, etc., can be treated with various medications, supplements, and some forms of therapy. Now, I won't go into individual symptom treatments, but you can do a simple Google search and ask your doctor about treatments. Should I get stem cell transplants? Ultimately, now that choice is up to you, but my latest research suggests that stem cell treatments currently available for the public have no benefit for ALS patients. What ALS resources are available in my community? While I can't go into specifics about each community, I can direct you to the ALS Association's website. They have a page that can help you find local chapters, certified ALS centers, ALS clinics, and even local ALS support groups. You can find this page at www.alsa.org/community. I have ALS. How do I apply for disability? I can only answer this question for residents of the United States. There are a few ways you can apply for Social Security disability benefits in the U.S. The easiest would be through the Social Security website located at www.ssa.gov. The actual page is www.ssa.gov/benefits/disability. That would be where you get started. You can also go into your local Social Security office and request an application there. Can I or should I participate in clinical trials for ALS? That decision is completely up to you, but there are a few things to be aware of before you do. First and foremost is that all clinical trials come with some inherent risks, mainly because they're working with experimental drugs. These experimental drugs can come with positive or negative results. Also, most will not take PALs who have taken treatments like Radicava or those who have been diagnosed with ALS for 2 or more years. I want to participate in a clinical trial. Where can I learn what trials are available? This is easy. Clinical trials can be found at clinicaltrials.gov. These trials include things in and outside of the US. I have ALS. How are you going to help me? Group admins can't help you directly, but you can check out the group to find a lot of information about ALS, possible treatment options, support, and even information about ALS related equipment. Why can't we help you directly? Well, because we're not there. And we do this to help you find what you need. So, hopefully, you'll take that to heart. But you can always come to group admins for any questions or concerns or with any feedback that you might have. You can find the link, as before, you can find the link to our website down in the description below, down there. If you want, you can also subscribe to my channel. You never know, I might have more ALS stuff. Also, there's plenty of other stuff to come. Anyway, hope you have a great day, and I hope that this answered some of your questions.